I have a confession to make. I have something that I need to get off my chest, and I'm sure that it will shake a lot of you to your very cores. It will be a disturbing thing to learn, but I think it's something that we need to do. We need to get it out of the way. We need to sort it out. Now, just before I get into it, we do have a giveaway going on, so stick around for a few minutes to learn what you need to do to enter that. And I also want to say up front, this video is not actually sponsored by anybody. I'm collaborating with Elgu to do something, and I've been talking to the other subject of this video, but this is not actually a sponsored thing. It's just a nice thing from one, and just something I'm a big fan of for the other. So, let's have a little chat about my issue. See, I love horrible miniatures. I absolutely love me an horrible miniature. Now, when I say horrible, I'm not talking, badly sculpted, badly printed, badly cast, or anything like that. No, I'm not talking about the quality of the model or the miniature. I'm talking about looking at it, really drinking it in, and then thinking to yourself, why does this exist? Who made it? Are they okay? And what compelled them to create this in the first place? That's the kind of horrible that just tickles my fancy. It really gets me going. And I would argue that there are few out there who do horrible as well as Best Yarm Games. I cannot get enough of their miniatures. Since I first stumbled across them, they have just endlessly produced things that are basically my sort of thing. And one of my favourite things that I saw when I first came across them was the Crimson Grove. Now, I have a few of these already printed. I've been throwing them at my D&D party. See, in the campaign that I'm running, the Abyss as a plane is physically below all the other planes, which shouldn't really be possible, but that's just how it's ended up. And it has become, like, all the negative stuff, all the hunger, the anger, the sadness, just all the really rough stuff that mortal beings go through kind of seeps down through the planes and ends up in the Abyss. It has become sentient, and it is a place of just nightmarish awfulness. And as such, I have painted up my lads in a horrific way. Admittedly, one of them isn't quite painted yet, but it's fine, ignore that. It's fine. I'll finish painting him the night before the party's due to fight him. That's how everyone does it, right? Imagine my delight then to discover that Best Yarm Games have updated the Crimson Grove and added a whole bunch of new lads to that range. And it's so good. I mean, look at that. Drink it in. Take it in. I love this. They are all awful in the best way. That's not an insult. That's not me being mean. That is a compliment. That is a 100% compliment. I mean, for God's sake, have you seen some of the stuff I kit bash? I actively aim for things to be as wrong and weird as this. This is what I go for. I mean, I don't think I'm quite at their level yet, but I'm doing my best, you know? The Grove pastor on his little horse over there, and for the Grove parishioners just dancing around. I don't even have to tell you which one the living altar is, because you can probably guess, right? You can probably tell. You can probably tell which one that is. We're going to take a closer look at this cavalcade of horrendous freaks in a moment. Before that, let's get this giveaway sorted, shall we? So, me and Elgu have come together to do a little collaboration whereby one of you will win a Mars 4 9K 3D printer with some resin to go along with it. Literally all you need to do to enter is click the link in the description or the pinned comment down below. From there, you can enter your email address. You can enter the giveaway. A winner will be chosen within the next 29 days in about 5 or 6 hours, something like that. And Elgu will send you the printer directly, so you don't need to rely on me to do any of that. And I definitely didn't have to re-record this bit because I got the number of days wrong. I mean, with the power of editing, how would you even know? Oh, I've spoiled it now, haven't I? That's literally all you need to do. So, link in the description, link in the pinned comment to win a Mars 4 3D printer and some resin to go along with it. Huge thank you to Elgu for sorting this out. It's awesome, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you do, whoever wins it, with your new printer. I mean, let's be honest, you could actually print a bunch of these if you wanted. It's totally up to you. It's totally up to you. But that is how the giveaway is going to work. So get on it. Now let's take a look at some worrying lumpy lads, shall we? So this is the Grove Pastor, and oh, it's so good. It's just so good. There's loads of little details that I love on pretty much all of Best Yarm Games' work, but these models really kind of highlight it. loads of different materials. You've got cloth, you've got a little bit of metalwork going on around the sort of bracer there. You've also got that big gong on the other arm, the rope work and stuff. There's just so many textures going on, but it's not horrendously busy. It's a bit busy, but then again, it's not in a distracting way. It all just adds to how unsettling it is. And things like having kind of, oh, what's it called? It's not a cassock, because that's the kind of robe-like thing. Is it a stole? No, I think a stole is just a strip of cloth. Look, I grew up in the church, and I should know all of this, but I can't remember it. Needless to say, the cloth is a really nice kind of contrast to the horrible flesh. Like, the cloth is quite regal, it's quite like posh, it looks well maintained, but then the guy himself, that's a nightmare. That's a nightmare right there, I think it's fair to say. We also have the Bile Guardians, and again, it's like that mix of, there's some actual, like, clean armour going on here. There's some proper clean armour, and then there's these big lumps of flesh. The weapon looks extremely, like, grandiose and very ornamental, but then the chainmail is just knackered. There's just chunks missing. It's partially hanging down, but it's not actually either properly made or it's not been properly maintained. That kind of contrast, I just love that. The extra arm on this guy is genuinely alarming. And also, got the strength to wield that big axe thing? Axe? That's an axe, right? We're gonna say that's an axe? Yeah, it's an axe, it's fine. But the arm wielding that axe is kind of skinny and almost malnourished looking. The other one is, I don't even know. I don't even know where to start with that. Am I going to have to censor that for YouTube? I don't know if, I think I may well have to censor that for YouTube. I don't know that YouTube's going to stand for that. Might have to be a bit of blurring going on there. Well, we'll see. You know, I'm just going to say it. This lot are definitely getting, like, disadvantage on stealth. I mean, that's 2 weapons covered in bells and heavy armour. And look at the size of the other arm. The size of the other arm is absolutely insane. Oh my god. Again, though, I just love the mix of materials and how some of it is so like, decorative and ornamented. And then other parts look worn and chipped and faded, and like, the cloth is horribly ripped, but then you look at the actual armour itself and it's weird, yeah, but it's also clearly well made. Just gotta love that contrast, you know? Jesus Christ, I hadn't even really noticed this. Oh my god, that's dreadful. That's, looks like a slug. You know what, I wonder if I can, we can zoom in. I did not even think to try that. I should have done. Also, I should have said this at the start, but I'm actually talking to Best RM Games about a different thing and mentioned that I wanted to make this video at some point. Doing the giveaway seemed the perfect time to do it. So they were kind of to send over a bunch of, like, high-res images of the Crimson Grove. So the ones that they have on my mini factory and the ones they have on their Patreon are good, but we've got some really, like, high quality zoomable ones. I hadn't realised they were this good, though. I hadn't realised they were this good. This is great. Oh, it's going to get so much more gross as we go along, because now I can do this. The candles on the little mountain of, like, slug flesh down the... Oh, God. Okay, it's still so cool, though. Look at the bandages over the head. I love that. Love it. Love it. It's so creepy and weird. And there's, like, I love the imagery of it as well. I'll be honest, I as I mentioned before, like, I kind of grew up in the church, and I'm not gonna lie. If that's your thing and still is your thing, then all power to you. Absolutely fine. Do not have a problem with it in any way. But I do also, admittedly, kind of like when primarily Catholic imagery is sort of subverted to be something a bit darker, a bit more grim. I mean, that's not to say that, you know, Catholicism doesn't have its own history of grimness and darkness, you know, what the whole Crusades thing and religious persecution, all that sort of thing. I mean, hell, 40k has massively cribbed a good amount of imagery from Catholic churches and the like, but I don't know, there's like a little, it's like a little bit of, not personal satisfaction, but I don't know. I just get something from it and I don't know what it is, but there you go. Now I've also got the Chalice Matron. The Chalice Matron, excellent name. That is a massive chalice. That is a big chalice. How many people are you I say feeding. Feeding? I mean, I get probably feeding, right? It looks like there's a cup or a ladle hanging off the belt there. Oh, so yeah, they are you know what? That actually does remind me. The Grove Hierophant does have... Oh, I don't even know how to phrase it. Like, the Grove Hierophant does have this whole mess going on, where there's a cup in the chalice that's being supported by one of the extra hands, and there's a spoon in the other hand, and there's stuff coming. Yep, all right. Yeah, let's just move on from that, shall we? Now let's have a look at some Grove parishioners, shall we? I mean, these guys look like they're just starting the journey. They're just starting the journey to become whatever the hell is wrong with the rest of them. They get in there quite quickly in some cases. The floppy hood thing I quite like. Fewer different textures on these, but then they really feel more like minions as opposed to like chosen ones compared to the other stuff. I do like the Thurable there. That's a good Thurable. I love a good Thurable. It's a real word, I promise. It's an actual thing. I'm not just making it up. It is genuinely a thing. Oh, I think this guy's got a Thurable on a bigger stick. That's cool. Why do I get the feeling that if this guy drops that bowl, one of the others, one of the bigger ones is gonna really slap him about. You just get that feeling. It's like, do not drop that or you're gonna be in big trouble. That's the feeling I'm getting right now. Oh, maybe that's after he's dropped the bowl. It's like, oh my god, I can't believe it. Maybe that's what that's probably not what that is it? Oh, there you go. A proper prayer symbol going on. Love it. And there's the living altar. Oh, okay, we've got to zoom in a bit for this. We've got to get in there for this. It's so good. Look, I mean, the breastplate is awesome. The decoration on it looks fantastic. It's all pitted and scored. It looks so good. Got like creepy trees growing out of the side. Another big tall pointy hat, but with a bit of like almost like thorn-esque stuff. Almost kind of crown of thorn type thing. I love that the altar has just fully got like an old saint and angels on the side, and yet the actual worshippers are just these kind of mutated, potentially ever-growing creations. That's such a cool contrast. I love that. Like, that by itself could be seen as like quite an ornamental but still fairly traditional altar, admittedly with having things like angels around the side and an actual sculpture like inlaid in it. That's not necessarily all that common unless you're going back, to really old churches. This could be some sort of ancient relic of a very old church, which is on the back of this. Like, that's such, again, like the contrast. It's the contrast of it, isn't it? The altar is familiar imagery. The altar is something that you would expect to see. The thing that is carrying it is monstrous and borderline alien and looks like it's in pain and should not be associated with that altar. And then when you get up here, you've got this massive bell being held by actual arms. Like, are those actual arms that are coming out of the... Is it sculpted? Are those stone? They might be stone. We can zoom in a bit. Can't we? Maybe not that. That must maybe a bit too far of a zoom. Okay, so it does look like they're carved. But still, it's such a weird contrast. Oh, it's so good. I love it. I just look at the size of it. Jesus. I really want to print this. It's going to take forever, but I want to print it. Oh, I hadn't even realised like the back of it is like the leg has collapsed, because that's the foot. The leg has like collapsed in on itself and it's dragging the leg. Oh, awful. Absolutely horrible. I weirdly feel slightly sympathetic for this thing now, which, I feel like shouldn't be possible. There you go. There's like a good... Oh, look at... I just love the armour. The armour is great. The armour is so good. They've put so much detail in the mouth. Look at the teeth. Look at the inside of the mouth. Jesus. Oh, that's interesting. So there's a carving of like one saint there, and then is there another one on the other side? Ooh. And another view from the other side as well. Oh, God, jeez. Ugh. It's genuinely alarming, isn't it? It's genuinely alarming. Like, how much of it is flesh? How much of it is this kind of flesh-like wood? Like, is it a hybrid creature in that sense? Because there's all these plates that have got carvings of trees on them. Is it like transforming into that? Now, we do also have the Crimson Tree, which again seems to be this very flesh-like wood. Very kind of, like, it's definitely slightly different in texture, or in shape at least, but yeah. Oh, it's properly disturbing. In a good way. And again, I love the use of bells on everything. I really do like that. It's a really fun kind of repeated motif on these. So there you go. Some delightful, creepy, I would say, horrible lads to brighten your day. I mean, it's Wednesday. You're looking forward to the week's end, but you're still in the middle. What better to get you through the time than seeing what all of that was? No, just me? Just me? Nah, it can't just be me, surely. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you again to Elgu for the giveaway, which, again, description, pinned comment, click the link, put in your email address, and we will see who gets the goods of a 3D printer and some resin. And thank you to Best JRM Games for sending over these proper high res PNGs of the sculpture of the Crimson Grove, because it made geeking out over them so much easier. So thank you for that. Absolutely love them, and I don't think I can say exactly what's going on over potentially the next few weeks, but you might see a few of these crop up as I put something through a few tests of my own. So I'll have to see what I go for. Do we go for the living altar straight away? That might be a bit of an ask. Let's maybe build up to the living altar. Trying to get something to just do that straight off the bat, that's ambitious. That's ambitious. I don't know if I've got that kind of ambition. We'll have to wait and find out, won't we? Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you for the next one.